Welcome to the Real Oldies Chicago Countdown. I'm Ron Smith, and today we'll be spotlighting the biggest hits here in town on December 3rd and 4th of 1964.
Real Oldies 1690.
Our number 17 artist was known as the fastest guitar in Memphis, though he made his name later on playing in Muscle Shoals, Alabama, behind Aretha Franklin, Wilson Pickett, Clarence Carter, Bobby Gentry, and Little Richard. In fact, he was Richard's band leader for quite a few years. This week in 1964, Travis Womack took a Mel Torme tune called Comin' Home Baby and turned it into an instrumental classic he called Scratchy. Up next, Ronnie Dove has the dubious distinction of being the pop singer with the most songs on Billboard's national charts, 20 of them, without ever making the top 10. He was pretty popular in Chicago, though. At number 15, here's Ronnie and Right or Wrong. Coming up, when they appeared on TV's I've Got a Secret, no one guessed correctly, even when Robert Goulet recited the lyrics to their hit. The Shangri-Las are next, as the Chicago Countdown continues on Real Oldies 1690.
Real Oldies 1690.
I'm Ron Smith, and we're back with the Countdown. Shadow Morton, the producer of Leader of the Pack, wasn't about to settle for motorcycle sound effects on the record. He brought an actual motorcycle into the studio. Trouble was, the studio was on the second floor of a Manhattan hotel. So Shadow rode it through the lobby and up the stairs. It earned him a ticket from the police and a #1 record for the Shangri-Las. This week, the Leader of the Pack settles in at number 8.
Is she really going out with him?
Up next, Elvis Presley's latest movie, currently in theaters, was the Carnival film Roustabout. As usual, Elvis was surrounded by Hollywood veterans, including Barbara Stanwyck. But imagine if the producer had gotten his first choice and Elvis had appeared with Mae West. On the charts, a rare non-movie hit for Elvis, one co-written by Domenico Modugno. It's Ask Me.
Ask me.
Bobby Vinton had hoped that his follow-up to Roses Are Red in 1962 would be a song he wrote while in the Army called Mr. Lonely. But his label erased Bobby's vocals and replaced them with Buddy Greco's. 2 years later, when the label needed a 12th song for Bobby Vinton's greatest hits, he suggested Mr. Lonely. And soon, disc jockeys all over the country were playing the song Bobby never lost faith in.
Lonely.
He was the chief newscaster for the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation in the early days of World War II, earning him the nickname the Voice of Doom. Lorne Greene, the voice and face of Pa Cartwright on Bonanza in 1964, has song number 2 this week with the story of Ringo. And then there was one. The opening line came from a John Lee Hooker song called No One Told Me, and the melody was influenced by a Betty Carter and a Brian Hyland song. Rod Argent was only 18 years old and thought to himself, I can write something that's as good as the Beatles, and it'll come out and it'll be #1. It may have been wishful thinking, but that's exactly what happened. The first single by Rod's group, The Zombies, She's Not There, went straight to #1.
Well, no one told me about her.
It's a wonder She's Not There was even recorded at all. The engineer at this session had been to a wedding beforehand where he got rip-roaring drunk and finally had to be carried out of the studio by 4 men. And there you have it, the 25 biggest hits here in Chicago this week in 1964. If you missed any of the titles, the list is available online at realoldies1690.com. Next week we'll do it all again with the top tunes on December 10th and 11th of 1958. Until then, I'm Ron Smith. That's all she wrote.